Now, the 1944 Education Act carried the rhetoric around difficulties of learning, in learning, viewed as disabilities of body and mind. It carried the same kind of thinking that there had been for a long time. Difficulties in learning then were categorized as disabilities of mind and body. In the 1945 regulations, around 2% of children were classified as handicapped. Now, if we carry this forward, if we do a quick move forward to the current situation, the 1981 Education Act, which had statements of special needs and so on, now education, health and care plans. But when the 1981 Education Act was passed, the same figure was used for children who were anticipated to have needs which were enough to warrant special provision and special consideration. Anyway, 1944 regulations, around 2% of children were classified as handicapped. So handicapped in body, handicapped in mind. And there were 11 categories of handicap. And this is the regulations, the handicapped pupils and school health service regulations. We've got the whole lot here. The blind, partially sighted, the deaf, partially deaf, delicate, and so on. Educationally subnormal. Certainly, when I started teaching myself in mainstream schools, we had various categories of schools for those categorized as educationally subnormal. We had ESN schools, educationally subnormal, and SSN, the severely subnormal. Maladjusted, physically handicapped, those with speech defects. If we just come back to the maladjusted, this was a new category that came in with the regulations in 1945, and it was changed over time. That particular way of looking at young people. But it was interesting, in the mid-1950s, they realized that actually they hadn't defined what was meant by maladjusted. So a special committee was convened to look at this, what constitutes maladjustment. Maladjustment, a category really, a kind of ragbag of challenging behaviour and so on, of the sort that really, I guess, we will find, again, challenging to address in mainstream schools. Anyway, we have all these categories in the regulations of 1945. And in these regulations, there were special schools for blind, deaf, epileptic, and so on, physically handicapped. We've got ESN moderate, ESN severe, and maladjusted. And those with severe, as it was called, mental handicapped, were considered ineducable and were sent off to hospital schools.